Am I the idiot for making my stepson sleep on the couch when my real son gets a bed? I, male 33, have 3 children, 18 male, female 15, and male 10 from a previous relationship. My first wife died 8 years ago. My now wife, female 34, has 3 children, 14 female, male 13, and male 11 from her previous marriage. We started dating 7 years ago and married 5 years ago. We are currently on vacation because my oldest has spring break from his freshman year of college. We are staying in our vacation home a few states away. Our vacation home only has 3 bedrooms, one for my wife and I, one for the boys and one for the girls. The issue is there has been conflict between my 2 stepsons, Brecken, 13, and Kurt, 11. Brecken and Kurt have never gotten along according to my wife, but it's gotten real bad lately and they're in family therapy for it. Brecken is a good kid, very sweet. He's definitely the most likely to challenge authority, but not always in a bad way. Kurt is more quiet and obedient, but he's had some issues with being nice to others. The conflict started when my oldest was talking to Kurt and showing him his phone. Kurt's interests overlap a lot more with my son than Brecken, so they wanted to bond over vacation. The issue came when Kurt was showing my son some texts he sent his friends. This included some truly vile stuff, including racism against Brecken's GF and mocking some of his baseball teammates. Brecken's girlfriend is black. The district we are in is over 90% white. Our family is white. The text Kurt sent included the N-word and were just awful. They also made fun of gay people. It was really bad. Kurt fully knows better than this. He has a high IQ, into some advanced topics like coding and trivia, and has even been considered to be a possible grade skipper. He's in 5th now, but we haven't because we didn't want to stunt social growth. When we got out of the van, my son said he wanted to talk to me and showed my wife and I the texts. We called Kurt in and he didn't show any remorse. He made a big deal out of us calling him, in which led us to have to explain everything to all of the kids. Brecken, who almost always smiles, was angrier than I've ever seen before. Brecken told us he didn't want to be near Kurt and locked him out of the room the boys are supposed to stay in. My wife and I agreed that it was best that the 2 didn't stay in the room together. The couch in the living room is a sleeper sofa, so we told Kurt he needed to sleep there to prevent fights. We thought this was okay. Obviously Kurt was mad at us, but we were surprised when the girls started saying we were being too hard on Kurt, and that we should just let him apologize to Brecken. Brecken said he wouldn't accept an apology because you can hurt me, but you can't hurt my girl or my boys. We also thought forcing an apology was bad, but the girls keep guilt-tripping us. He slept on the sofa last night and it was a real pain. Am I an idiot? Update. After listening to comments and talking to my wife's parents about what went down, we had my wife's parents pick up Kurt. We talked to the girls about why they felt they should defend Kurt and explained to them how much his comments hurt Brecken. They didn't have much of a reaction to the talk we had, so we're still trying to figure out how they feel. Kurt has only been with my wife's parents for a bit and we're already hearing he's being very defiant, but we're not letting him back. Like I mentioned, this vacation is during my oldest spring break, so we're currently spending time with him. Brecken was very happy when we told him Kurt would be picked up, though he's still very mad at Kurt and has said stuff like he's not my brother anymore, which is definitely something we're going to bring up therapists. As for the comments mentioning finding anti-racism, my sister is an English teacher, so we're going to try to find some stuff she thinks is appropriate for 5th graders in terms of reading levels, and what Kurt could comprehend. We've also been speaking to the parents of the other boys he was texting, and they're all horrified this was going on and said they plan to address it with their sons. We also made sure that Brecken knew that we would always support him and his girlfriend and him and his baseball teammates. No idiots here. Do realize there is probably something Kurt needs or is missing, which is being filled by the hate comments. It could be something like a need to feel powerful or manly, or like he fits in with a group, or from a desire to be seen as special or better than others. Unless you figure that out and fill the hole, it won't be fixed and Kurt will remain drawn to such rhetoric. You're the idiot for still not taking what Kurt said as seriously as you should have. You're heading in the right direction but still missing some critical points. You explained to the girls that Kurt's comments really hurt Brecken, but not that they were racist and homophobic and wrong. Vile. Was this parent picking favorites? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for not wanting to go to my sister's wedding because I'm tired? My sister, let's call her Hannah, isn't speaking to me right now because I RSVP'd no to her wedding in January. My mom wants me to change my RSVP, but honestly the wedding isn't going to be possible for me to attend, and based on how my sister is acting, I don't want to go anymore. Ever since I hit puberty I've had really bad insomnia. I usually go to bed around 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and wake up around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. I've tried to change my sleep style and I just can't. It's like dealing with international jet lag. Hannah knows this, but always forgets and tries to wake me up for family things whenever she visits home, and I have to lock my bedroom door and really work to keep her out. When I got the invitation for Hannah's wedding, I was super excited for her, because she has always wanted a big wedding, and it looks like she is going to get it, and that might not be what I would want, but she does, and that is exciting, and I can acknowledge that. But then I saw the timeline and there's a wedding brunch at 10 a.m., the ceremony is at noon, and then there's an afternoon party. I asked Hannah if I could just come to the afternoon party, since I will be sleeping at 10 a.m., and she got furious and started yelling over the phone about how since I'm her sister, I need to be there for the ceremony. I laughed and told her there was no way I could be there on time, because it would basically be like trying to get someone on a 9-5 work schedule to attend an event at 2 a.m. I probably shouldn't have laughed, but it just felt so ridiculous. If she wanted me to be there for the whole thing, she needed to plan for a time when I could actually attend. I work a full-time job as a freelancer, just not normal hours because of my insomnia, so it really bugs me when people act like my time is worth less than theirs. But now wedding preparations are happening at the house, the brunch is going to be here, and my mom is really upset with me for not coming to the wedding. She wants me to apologize to Hannah and be one of her bridesmaids. Hannah isn't speaking to me at all, but she is speaking to our mom, so maybe that is what she also wants. But I just feel like she owes me the apology, not the other way around. But I might be wrong because this is the first big fancy wedding in our family, and maybe I need to suck it up because it's a tradition to have a morning breakfast or something. Am I an idiot? Edit. Okay, that was universal. Am I an idiot? I will apologize to Hannah and ask if I can still attend the wedding. I think it is probably best if I'm not a bridesmaid, but I can still put on a dress and show up even if I am tired. Thank you to everyone that sent in medical tips. I am realizing that I need to get a second opinion that isn't our family doctor, because she is actually kind of dismissive about my sleep issues, and I used to like that because she made my mom calm down and she supported me with a doctor's note for online high school. But some of you mentioned high blood pressure and delayed sleep phase disorder, and I want to talk to someone who is at least willing to investigate that with me. Edit 2. Sorry, I meant I am the asshole is universal and I get it. Edit 3 divided by update. I sat down and talked with my mom about the situation with Hannah and it was rough. But I think she understands a little better now where I was coming from and is going to help me find a sleep specialist to go to. I asked her if she thought I should call Hannah directly or if she should talk to her first, and she said I should do it, so I tried calling but she didn't pick up, so I sent her an apology text. No response yet, but I said sorry for laughing and for acting self-centered, and that if she would still have me at the wedding I would be happy to attend, but that I probably shouldn't be a bridesmaid. But I could do other things at the wedding like pass out stuff, and that I just want to make sure she has a good time. I don't know if she will forgive me, but I do feel better now that I am trying. I have also been watching a lot of videos on sleep rhythm disorders, and a lot of symptoms in my life make more sense now, so seriously a big thank you to everyone who gave me tips and ideas for what to search. Update. First off, it was a big eye-opener to see that so many people thought I was the idiot, and after reading your comments I agree with you. I guess I have been living a kind of sheltered life, and I wasn't thinking about the wedding the way I should have. I was kind of viewing it as a big party, more like a birthday party than a once-in-a-lifetime event, and that was a mistake. Hannah asked me if I could get coffee with her outside of the house, and I was a little surprised that she wanted to meet that way, but I obviously said yes. I was getting really worried that she wasn't going to respond at all. But I think that was the best decision ever because Hannah and I had a great conversation. It was kind of intense, but I think really necessary, about some stuff that happened when we were kids and our relationship with our mom. I won't go into all of it here, but TLDR, Hannah apologized for trying to wake me up whenever she visited. I apologized for laughing about her wedding, and we both agreed that I need to A. talk to more doctors and B. move out of our mother's house. We grew up pretty sheltered, and I hadn't realized how much it was impacting my mood and energy until Hannah started talking about what she experienced when she moved out and went to college. She left home pretty early, at 16, so we really didn't know each other as adults much at all. Hannah told me that when she first moved out, everything got easier with our mother, and she started going to therapy and got really into fitness and nutrition, and she realized that she felt a lot better with less contact with our family. But she got really worried about me being left home and wanted to check up on me, encouraged me to move out too, but didn't know how to communicate that. Particularly since I was always sleeping when she was over. I have some money saved from freelancing and saving on rent, so I am going to think about different places to move to. My job can be done from anywhere, so now that I'm thinking about moving out it feels weird that I was so stuck in my high school routine that I didn't even consider any other options. My sleeping schedule is still super fricked up, but Hannah has a friend who is a nutritionist that is willing to do a consult with me over Zoom, so that's something I'm going to do next week. I called my family doctor and asked for referrals, but the only available appointment slot is like 2 months out, and I'm not sure if I will even be in the state at that point. So I didn't book it yet, but I'm definitely going to try and get a medical team once I know what my plans are. Not the idiot. Nice update. Just wanted to let you know that when I was living with my parents, my sleeping habit was like yours where I slept during the day and was up all night. It wasn't something I did purposefully, but if left to naturally sleep, wake, etc., I would just end up with a schedule like yours. Now, I do suffer from some insomnia which, thankfully, is currently under control, but my insomnia was actually separate from that sleep issue. It turns out I was depressed, anxious, etc. in the environment I was in, and my natural defense response was to basically sleep and switch into a schedule opposite everyone else's. It took a while to correct, and then we could actually tackle the real insomnia, but once I was living on my own for a while, I did find that my schedule, while still not normal, became closer to it. I still am more awake, wired at night, so I tend to get most work done at night. I always assumed I was more of a night owl, and that was why I couldn't sleep at my parents', but when I saw my cousin start doing the same thing when she moved in with my parents when she had never had any sleep issues or anything, it occurred to me that it was likely a way of dealing with an environment we found toxic. This isn't to say you are in the same situation, but it doesn't hurt to keep this possibility in mind as well. Certainly you should still look into seeing more doctors, but you may find that just being away from your mom's place will end up doing wonders for your mental and sleep health. Not the idiot. I'm glad you will be able to see the doctor. I was shocked when you said your doctor didn't think it was a big deal. And even that you didn't think it was a big deal when it impacts everything in your life in an obvious way. Good luck with the doctors. Is she being lazy not going to the wedding? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for telling my sister I don't care if people think I'm homophobic? Bit of a loaded title, I'll admit, but to give some context, I, 22M, have an older sister Sky, 26 Fahrenheit. When I was in high school, our mother, 48 Fahrenheit, cheated on our dad, 48M, and left us to be with her boyfriend. When our dad moved on, he wound up dating Frida, 41 Fahrenheit, the mother of Phil, 22M, my bully, who never did anything but make fun of me, and if you know, words can really freaking hurt. I begged him not to be with her. I really begged him not to, but didn't listen. The worst part was having to go with him to their house. My sister is the only one who realized how distraught I was. I had to go, and so I left to be with my mother. My dad took that personally and thought I was just trying to spite him for moving on. I only stayed with my mother until Sky got her own apartment, and I moved in with her as soon as I could. She never cut off contact with our dad, which is fair because she was a lot closer to him than I was, and she never pushed me to go to him or to our mother. Like, high school life only got worse after I left my dad, and university has been such a godsend since everybody here is nice and stuff. My graduation is coming up in April, and I sent early invites to dad and to my mother, just finished applying. But not to the families they have now. Mother accepted, but dad called demanding invites for Frida and Phil. I said no and told him that it was to prove to him that I'm not homophobic. That caught me off guard, but I didn't back down. Yesterday I talked to my sister about it, and she told me that because Phil's gay, they've been telling everyone that I don't come over and see him because I'm homophobic. She told me that she always sticks up for me and defends me, but she wishes I could reconcile with him since it hurts her because people we know probably think the worst of me. I got pissed off and told her in a really rude way not to bother since I don't care if anybody thinks I'm homophobic. She got really sad and told me that she'd never stop defending me, and I just huffed and we didn't really talk for the rest of the day. But I've slept on it really bad, and I never should have said that to her since she isn't pushing for me to reconcile, and she's the one who defends me, and I know my tone was really mean. I really feel like a major idiot and that I never should have hurt her by saying those things. Hence why I'm on Reddit instead of studying for finals. Edit. Since people keep wondering this, yes, my dad knows I was bullied by Phil, but he doesn't think it was real bullying. And my sister has a good relationship with my dad and his new family, new kids and all. She loves him, and I'm not going to try to force her to choose between us. Update. So, I apologized to my sister as soon as she came home from work, and she forgave me. We had a talk, and it's like a lot of you said. I can't risk this poop spreading in case it affects my future career prospects. I've always been kind of out of the closet where if you ask I'll tell, but if not, then whatever. But we agreed that the best thing to do would be for me to officially come out since I don't want to email or message all the individual relatives my dad's family have been saying this poop about me to. If they believe them after that, well then that's on them. Regardless, I came out as bisexual on Facebook and Instagram. Changed my profiles to show I'm bi and set up a coming out party where my friends and some of these relatives were invited, kept in line with restrictions. It was a fun party, but it was weird since it felt like I was flaunting my sexuality, and I'm probably never going to do it again. But yeah, I think that one potential disaster has been averted. Overall, things have been good since then. My mom visited and told me how proud she was that I was being true to myself and apologized for what she did for us not being that close. I don't know if we will be again, but we've been talking every day since then and it feels good. My dad has not called or messaged me at all. Phil emailed me congratulating me on coming out and pretty much apologizing for everything without actually apologizing. Frida, however, called me crying and apologized for everything while telling me she was proud of me for coming out. We had a talk about everything, and I think we've come to an understanding as far as my dad is concerned. My sister told me that dad was really out of sorts after the announcement and was really regretful about what he did. She offered to set up a meeting, but he told her he didn't deserve one and needed to ask me himself. She also told me she has heard Frida bitching him out for alienating me and Phil for how he acted quite a few times. End of the day, my dad hasn't reached out yet. Part of me hopes that he will, but maybe it's best if he doesn't. Not the idiot. Great on you for coming out of a difficult situation in a rather unexpected way. You cut off any possibility of being accused of whatever nonsense they had come up with. As far as your father is concerned, I think it's better that you don't see him for a while. Focus on yourself and heal your feelings. Should he cut his dad off? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, consider subscribing.